education to be more important. They are more valuable to the society. Hence, it inculcates that ideological misunderstanding and ideological hatred in such a way that most of those people with Quranic education are feeling that, oh, we are not as important as the Western education. And Western education is being looked as that education that is materialistic, education that is just meant for liberty, for freedom, and for one to choose the way he wants to live his life. On the other hand, Quranic education here is basically perceived by those promoters of those ideology is just a means of education that will take you closer to your God, that will give you a better ending, and that will make your life better. And in this ideological conflict, the hatred or the perception, negative perception to Western education manifests. And hence people feel that they are better off when they go for Quranic education rather than Western education. And hence the menace of out-of-school children, particularly in the rural areas in Kano. If you go to mainly much of our rural areas, you will find that girls' child is being negated on the basis that this education will only make her free, will only embolden her, will only make her go far from her creator and what have you. These are the challenges, and this conflict manifests on our belief that, oh, this is not as important as it should be. And on this note, the paper centrally assumes that there is need for integration of knowledge. Rather than just segregating the two knowledge, okay, Western education, whatsoever, that menace of, oh, makaranta boko, does not even arise. You inculcate the knowledge, you bridge the knowledge and reduce the tendencies for the frictions and for misconception and for misunderstanding, and hence will promote educational development in the state and what have you. And at the end, the paper conclude on the following, that although there are many works that have been done on the basis of reducing this friction and ideological misunderstanding against Western education, but a lot needs to be done. And in doing so, we encourage the state government to take a bold decision, a political commitment for them to be able to reduce this gap and bridge this gap. And in doing so, they should incorporate and encourage the works of organizations, particularly non-governmental organizations, or these International Islamic Institute, Islamic Thought, International Islamic Thought, other institutions like that have promoted Quranic education, association of Quranic education teachers and what have you. They could play a significant role in reducing this menace. Yes, I'm referring to Association of Model Islamic Schools, Islamic Foundation Trust, and the International Institute of Islamic Thought. These could play a significant role in reducing this ideological friction and ideological tension that brings about less educational development in Kano. So at the end, the paper also recommend other options that could be submitted. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Riau. I think one key point is the issue of integration of Western and Eastern education. If I look around here, I'm seeing some people that will be a witness to the fact that the educational system in the 60s and 70s, I knew when we were in primary school then, we compete with Islamia schools in terms of what we did we cover in the 60s. So why do we throw the system? The Americans are saying if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Meaning if you don't have problem, why do you have to try to change it. This inconsistency is part of the problem that we are having. Today there will be this national policy on education. Before you imbibe it, tomorrow it will be another one. Next tomorrow it will be another one. And at the end of it, we'll end up going nowhere. So I think we have Dr. Rislan. Is Dr. Rislan around? Okay. So the next person will be Dr. Rislan. Do we have Zoom? Are they there? Is there any Zoom presentation? Otherwise, what of Abimbola A? I hope she's not the same person that presented. Huh? Oh? Oh, it's not the same person. So I think after Rislan, then it will be Dr. Abimbola. I think these are the names that I have. So, yeah? Zakariwa. Abani Sunamba. Is Zakari? Okay. No, this is just, I just taken. Okay. Hold on. But let me get. We have how many? I didn't call. About 3. So give me the names. Yeah? Oh, Mustafa Mako. To Abaniba. Okay. Okay. Let me. I mean, Kuga one. I'm sorry. I was just given. Was it just 8 names? So.
Can you ask the guy to put my slide?
Okay, please put this slide on. Creating opportunity for mastery, proficiency, excellence, and technical empowerment. Compete. Yeah. Or is it complete?
Compete. Yes, thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum. Let me stand on the existing protocol duly observed. I'm going to share something we are doing in Jigawa State, which we call creating opportunity for mastery, proficiency, and tech empowerment. I think the best education in Nigeria is basically education of Edo, Bayelsa, Kwara, and Lagos. Edo have a program they call Edo Best, Basic Education Sector Transformation Program. We have Kwara Prime, we have Eco Excel, and the rest. So, but they all have a specific area of focus. So what we have in Jigawa is integral, is a digital initiative to transform education and skill development in Jigawa State. So I have, earlier on I wanted to talk for like 30 to 40 minutes, but I'm not going to go into the too much noise. I've already shared this, you can have a look at it. So the J-Compete have 5 elements. EMIS, internet connections in the school, educating the teachers into digital literacy and digital competence, as well as supplying school with the digital technologies, as well as putting a digital assessment to enable the state to build capacity for teachers and the students. So earlier when I say compete, so we want the Jigawa residents to compete globally, but how can they compete? They need to master some level of skills, as discussed earlier. They also need to have some proficiency, but beyond that, they also need to get certification. And that's why we leverage the Federal Ministry of Education initiatives, the Learning Passport, the Ignite, the Inspire, as well as the data provided by Airtel through UNICEF. And I have to say this, I happen to be the National Program Coordinator for the UNICEF Learning Passport Program. And UNICEF, Federal Ministry of Education, partner with Airtel. And now, if you have Airtel SIM card, you can access the National Digital Platform without buying any data. So it is something that I have to say this. So in Jigawa State, as it is now, all the secondary schools, I think about 282, have active Airtel routers. And that's why if you look at the Learning Passport ranking in Nigeria, Jigawa is number 3, sometime number 4. I know Kano is really pushing hard to get to that level. But if you talk about EMIS, you know, education is very, very big as a ministry. In Kano, you have Ministry of Basic Education and Higher Education. There's something with Jigawa. But at a state, we develop one single education management information system. And basically, taking data from tertiary to secondary to basic education. As it is now, because this is a program we launch sometime in April, we focus on the low-hanging fruit, the secondary school. So the state appointed EMIS officers. Each school now have an EMIS officers. We had a capacity development sometime in June, and we invited Plain, and they were able to talk to us and share their experience of learning poverty in the state. At the same time, we are also planning to bring all the secondary school teachers, including the ad hoc teachers. We have a date in the next 3 weeks when the school closes. We'll bring all the teachers to state capital to support them to build digital capacity. At the same time, learn new teaching and digital pedagogy. I have to say this, we invited the Dean of Bayero University, Kano School of Education, and he spent, I think, 2 days, if I can remember, with us, talking about the role of teacher in the 21st century. We know, as we discussed earlier, the state have no money to train all the teachers through the usual face-to-face. But the easiest way is to leverage digital technologies. And I have to say this, we are also leveraging social media in the state. For example, we have a WhatsApp group now where we have all the EMIS officers. We have the directors from the ministry in charge of EMIS, in charge of ICT, and director of planning. We also have the Commissioner of Education in the group and a few EMIS officers. And we also have a WhatsApp group for teachers where we are sharing content and we are sharing modern practice of teaching and learning in the state. Can I have the PowerPoint? I want to show something. At the same time, the federal government invested heavily in building digital infrastructure. In Jigawa State, we have 69 digital economy centers built by NIDA. The same thing with Kano. But unfortunately, all these centers are abandoned. Some even closed down. Some have half of the equipment been stolen already. Maybe if you can go, yes. So when we came on board, we selected 15 out of the 69. And I'm happy to say that now we have 1,000 youth engaged by the state. And hopefully, before the end of this year, we can have all the teachers get into this platform to do more. But beyond that, the state have an integrated approach. The state now set up ICT and Digital Economy Agency, similar to what we have in NIDA. And we also have a law now from the House of Assembly to have resident identity agency, similar to NIDA. You cannot have meaningful education. You cannot track children that are out of school. You cannot track progression deprivation. You cannot track learning poverty, learning deprivation if you don't have identity. So the state now is very committed. We have a resident registration agency now. And the target we set for the state is by next school section. So for learning passport, it's a project that I facilitated, or maybe I coordinated from inception. We complain about teachers. Okay, yeah, so teachers have no tablet. Teachers have no connectivity. Teachers have no digital literacy. But now we have all this content available on digital platform. And MTN is at the final stage of even going to be part of this big initiative. So if you have MTN, you have Airtel, you have access to digital technology. But unfortunately, within the last 3 days, we had EduTech conference sponsored by Federal Ministry of Education and Communication Technology. EduTech is not really supporting education as it is, because technology is only amplifying well-established education. Because if you look at investment in education within the last 50 years in Nigeria, we don't have really a meaningful result. I mean, I have to say this even from Jigawa State. A lot is being spent, but the learning poverty is still at a very high stage. And I have to share one of the dashboard we have. Enrollment into higher education in Jigawa within the last 4 years declined, while other states doubled. So the key takeaway for this initiative is not just to give the tablet or give the digital learning platform, but it's to support learners to have empowerment beyond just the usual. And you know, when we talk about digital economy is not about buying computers or buying hardware, but it's giving digital literacy, at the same time moving away from the usual. I remember 20 years ago in Jigawa State, we have to set up about 30 computer training centers. The first thing we do is you spend half of the training section or period teaching students how to use mouse and keyboard. Now no more. Practically all the youngsters that we have, they know how to use this technology. So it's important as we are setting off strategy for revamping or transforming education, we have to make it to look really 21st century based on evidence and data and driven. The key takeaway of what we are doing in Jigawa State is literacy, support the farmers, and I have to say this also, there is a plan for all these training centers. We'll use the trainees during their free hours to digitalize farm system. Recently, we launched an initiative where we have 120,000 farmers. Data farms being mapped in the system. We have a very ambitious target. By end of next year, we should have 2 million farmers registered with NIN. At the same time, their farms mapped and COPO given to their farms. And we will leverage these students to do this. And we have financial agencies willing to fund this initiative from their pocket. So thank you very much. I have to stop here.
You see, thank you. Oh, it's a Dr. Ko. So it's just one cap between him and me. So that is why he talks. Okay, I think it's Dr. Abimbola. Is she around? No, Abimbola. Oh, it's on Zoom. Can you zoom it for us? Okay, if it is not there, let's go to Zakaria Zakari. Zakaria Zakari.
That is guest presentation.
Eh?
Yes.
Next.
The next one, the one you are talking, sir, is a guest presentation on school opening and attendance.
Yeah, I was just given 4 names that they are supposed to present in this.
What I'm saying, Prof, is the career coming on behalf of his group, or he's coming on with his presentation, which is on the program?
I really don't know what happened. The organizers gave me additional 4 names, which is Zakaria Zakari, Dr. Mukhtar Ado, Mustafa Isyaku, and Mohammed Rabi'u Jakada. They said these 4 people are to present also. There are confusion, not even is confusion, there are confusions here, in terms of... Yeah? Oh yeah, he's here, but somebody is challenging... Okay.
Sorry, Prof.
Yeah.
Professor Kamilu, I think Dr. Mikaelu is trying to say, in fact, he has sorted it out for us.
Okay.
So I think there has been some amendment or some adjustment.
Okay.
What we should do now, be on the safe side, is to allow the gentleman to proceed with his presentation.
Okay.
And then we take on other things later.
It's okay.
So,
Okay.
in other words, I will invite him, sir.
Okay.
Dr. Zakaria, be seated, please.
Who is the other person?
Honorable Commissioner, distinguished participants, I have an honor and privilege to invite somebody who served Kano State diligently in the management of the Kano State College of Advanced Studies in its days of honor and glory. He served us, we saw what he did there, and he left to work in very many international organizations. Wherever the career found himself, he had the Kano State, he had Kano State in his mind and the Nigerian Federation. He was our ambassador, and I'm happy that he is still serving or representing us in the Foreign and Commonwealth Office of the British High Commission. It is my honor to invite this erudite scholar who has continued to serve our community. Zakaria Zakari will speak on school opening and attendance scoping study. Sir, your mic is there.
Thank you very much. I would like to stand on the existing protocol, Mr. Commissioner. I'm here to make a presentation on the school opening and attendance study sponsored by FCDO. DELV is FCDO support, monitoring and evaluation support, and in collaboration with the plane, we conducted the school opening and scoping study, the purpose of which is to better understand trends in terms of school opening, trends in terms of teacher and pupils' attendance. And we were also looking at strengths and weaknesses. We are looking at school opening, attendance, strengths and weaknesses in terms of the relationship between that and learning outcomes. So we between December 2023 and March or April 2024, we conducted the study, and we used mixed methods. We reviewed documents, most documents that are related to school opening, documents that we could lay hands on in terms of teacher and pupils' attendance in basic education. We also conducted focus group discussions with school support officers. We conducted key informant interviews with directors, planning, research and statistics, directors, school services, directors, quality assurance. We went to Islamia and schools management boards, and also the education management information system unit in Kano, Jigawa, Kaduna, Yobe, and Borno states, where FCDO is working. So our overall finding has to do with school opening, attendance of teachers and pupils are interconnected, and they are mutually reinforcing. That is one finding. And we have also found that interaction is crucial for addressing the issue of out-of-school children. So some of the things, and I'm going to go over, sir, some of the findings and recommendations that are not much. We looked at school calendar. Who sets up school calendar when it is set up? How many days is the school calendar per academic year? So we are saying, ideally, the school calendar is supposed to be 180 days per academic year. And the question we kept asking is, how many days have we been able to cover in the academic years? So we are saying, necessarily and sufficiently for learning outcomes and quality education, we are supposed to cover X number of days. Do we cover those days? That is a big question. Then we tried to find out the guidance related to school opening. Are there formal guidance? Are there policies within the 5 states in relation to school opening, the calendar? Then we also found out that there is no documentation, or there are no documentations in terms of actual school days. You have a calendar, and I'm going to share with you 3-year calendar, but you do not have documentation of the actual number of days. So the recommendation on the guidance, policy, and practice on school opening has to do with creating awareness, stakeholder beneficiary awareness in terms of the impact of official academic calendars and in terms of the relationship between conformity to academic calendars and learning outcomes. The second recommendation is a need to institute formal guidance, track implementation of school opening. So you have guidance on school opening. In certain states, during flood, schools are closed. In certain states, when certain people die, schools are closed. In certain states, when it's too cold, schools are closed. So how do we make up? In certain areas, certain communities, schools are closed because community members have migrated. So what do we do with that, and how do we make up to learning outcomes and generally quality education? So I'll give you examples. In between 2021 and 2022, in Kano, the school calendar was 189 days. That was the planned calendar. In 2022 and 2023, the plan was 187 days per academic year. And in 2023, that is the current academic year, the planned days were 192 days. Now, I give you an example. During COVID, were we able to achieve that? If not, how did we make it up? That is the big question. If not, how does it affect learning outcomes and the quality of education? In terms of teacher deployment and leadership, school leadership, and school opening, we looked at attendance of pupils and attendance of teachers. It is very complicated, so complicated. So we find that teachers often travel long distance to get to schools. In Kaduna, it is from one pole to the other pole of teachers going to school. You are not talking about the cost, you are not talking about the distance, you are not talking about traffic before teachers arrive the schools. So that affects school timetables, and it affects punctuality of teachers, and it also affects punctuality of pupils. So head teachers also tend to be overworked. And I hear a lot of presentations talking about schools having two teachers, the head teacher and a teacher. How do they manage? If you have only two teachers and you have 7 primary 6, who does what? Who is learning and who is not learning at a particular point in time? This is very serious. So we recommend that we need to review in Kano, in the plain window state, we need to review teacher deployment, we need to review teacher support, we need to review retention policies, and we need to develop packages to improve teacher working conditions. The second recommendation is we need to review target policies and guidance to support head teachers, because we think they are overworked. And the third recommendation is to review procedures for appointing, supervising head teachers and promoting qualified teachers to leadership position. In terms of teacher attendance, we looked at it by days: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. For instance, on Mondays, you have 94% teacher attendance in Kano. On Tuesday, you have 94% teacher attendance in Kano. On Wednesday, you have 88%. On Friday, you have 79%. So this is subject to reviews. When we go deep into the data, we'll be able to find out it will fluctuate. So, and we need to find out why. Ideally, in the educational system has designed structures for supervision. We supervise schools. And you have quality assurance department. Is it time? This is going to be one. Okay. We have quality assurance department. We have the local government education authorities. You have the support officers. Now, one thing we found in terms of supervision, in terms of monitoring, is that we do not have good structures. We have monitoring templates that are filled by supervisors, by quality control officers, but they are dumped. They are not used. They are not used for decision making. Now, what are our next steps? We have just done a scooping exercise, so we hope to do school opening and attendance. We are starting soon. We are going to be looking at, our selection is going to be Kaduna State and Jigawa State, and we are going to be doing an action research in collaboration with the Playing Window One. We hope to also engage the state governments to collaborate in this study, the local government education IMIS officers, and SSOs and head teachers. We want to deep dive into school opening and attendance. And with that, I will say thank you for listening. Okay, sorry, please. We have this, and it's a summary of the scooping study report. So at the end of the summary, you have a link if you want to read full report. Thank you.
Prof, I understand Dr. Suleiman Adeniran is on Zoom, so you may wish.
Let me make this thing. Dr. Mukhtar Ado and Mohammed Rabi Ujakada, because of time constraint, I was told that they should make their presentation in room 4. Dr. Mukhtar Ado and Mohammed Rabi Ujakada make their presentation in room 4. Eh? Have they gone there? Oh, follow the coordinator. She can wait. We will have two more presentations. Inaike, Dr. Anas, Yakubu Anas.
Prof. Dr. Suleiman Adeniran is on.
I'm coming.
Okay.
We have to sort out things now. Now, then, we are going to have one presentation via Zoom and another physically here. Dr. Suleiman Adeniran will be the one to present via Zoom. And Mustafa Isiaku will present his paper after Dr. Suleiman. So is Dr. Suleiman's presentation ready? Is it ready?
Yes. Yes.
So can you hear us?
I can share my screen.
Okay. Please.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you very well. So you have 7 minutes.
Yeah. Okay. If you can put on my screen, or do you want me to share it from here?
It's okay. They will share it for us.
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay.
Just
Yeah.
go to your summary and their recommendation
Yeah.
that you can be able to do in 7 minutes.
Okay. As you can see from my presentation, education recovery is going to be very important in Kano because of the challenges. And of course, the governor has also declared a state of emergency. And what we are proposing in this presentation is that Kano uses a combination of political economy analysis and system mappings. This I have, in my paper, I have given examples, Nigerian examples from Kenya, where political economy analysis has been used, and also system mapping.
Okay,
Now,
hold on. The person in charge, please, can you share the presentation? How do I share? Okay, Dr. Suleiman. Dr. Suleiman? Hello?
Yes, I'm listening to you.
Yeah, share the presentation. You should share this presentation for us to see.
Oh, I thought I've given it to Dr. Anas.
No, you do it from your own end.
Okay.
So flip one, let us see. We're still waiting for you.
Well, I have, I'm trying to share it.
Yeah.
Okay, here you go.
So go ahead, let's see.
Can you see it?
Yeah, now.
Hello.
Hooray. Go ahead. Okay.
So I have talked about importance of education recovery in Kano, and also why we need to have political economy analysis to do it. Can you see?
Yeah, we are.
And then I've given examples of where PA has been used and system mapping. And in all these places, it has been shown that they help. So there are lessons learned that understanding the context is crucial. So how do we go about it in Kano? In Kano, we can use both PA and system mapping. Look at the challenges, gather the factors, as you can see, and then the system mapping. And this is an example of some work we did in Nigeria, where we have used PA to find out what the foundation factors are. And also, we have done system mappings. What you can see are individuals who are stakeholders participating in mapping, finding out issues. We have non-state actors, you have MDAs and the federal. Also, this is their output, which has now been transferred, digitized, and you can see what kind of issues are arising on the right-hand corner: incentive, level of adequacy, implementation, and SSO. Now, this is the implementation plan that I propose for Kano. It's a 3-year plan in which you first of all have peer analysis, engagement, and scaling and piloting. And I have also identified what funds are required for conducting the workshop, the collaborations, and I have here how it can be sustained and scaled. And of course, I've mentioned also the potential challenges that we are likely to face and what limited fund, reliable data, difficulty in sustaining this, and then the pilot intervention. So my takeaway here is that if we are able to get PA and system mapping done in Kano, we are going to have a better understanding of the political, social factors that shape the economic. And when we apply this as policymakers and practitioners, we are likely to succeed in turning things around. The insight gained from it's very important to explain that system mapping relies on participation, people at all levels, so that there is greater ownership and then sustainability. And we can also learn this, and then we are very hopeful that if you are able to put this, then it will help us to strengthen the education system. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much for keeping to the time. Please don't forget to send this presentation to the Secretariat.
I have already sent it, sir.
So, thank you very much. Okay.
It's with Dr. Anas.
Oh, it's with Dr. Anas. Okay, we'll ask him. But in case it is not there, we'll ask you to resend the same presentation. Okay, I think from what I've been given, the last presentation will be by Mustafa Isiaku. Yeah. So,
Prof, the gentleman here is giving us additional knowledge. The presentation from Suleiman Adedina is already with them. You are asking him to send. They are now telling us.
The commissioner said he wants a copy, so I asked him, but now he said he has already sent it.
This is what the gentleman is saying. They have already got it.
No problem. So if it is there, there is no need.
It is already there.
Okay, okay. All right. Madam Mustafa, or Dr. Mustafa? Or Mr. Mustafa?
Sincerely, I do not intend to waste any much time. So, inshallah, Prof, I should be able to do my presentation within the next 2 to 3 minutes, inshallah. A lot has been said about education, a lot has been said about politics, a lot has been said about the impact that politics has actually done to the education sector in Kano State. And we can conclude by saying that politics has both positive and negative impacts as far as education is concerned. A positive impact that politics has done in Kano State is the example of the Commissioner for Higher Education in Kano State. He's a Concorsia scholar, so many students benefited and what have you. There are a lot of problems. That is why emergency has been declared as far as education is concerned. But declaration of an emergency is not only a statement, sir. It is about action, about commitment. It is also about having positive political will. Statistics have shown that out of every 5 schools, 4 schools in Kano State are inhabitable. And the figures have also shown that only 22% out of the over 42,000 classes that exist in Kano State are habitable. Only 22%. And as such, to borrow the words of Dr. Ali Utilde, everything is wrong about the physics and the chemistry as far as education is concerned in Kano State. You'll all agree with me. And that is why emergency has been declared. My major points here are just 2. Emergency has been declared. And some of the actionable points that are supposed to be accompanied by the declaration of the emergency are actually put in place. For example, just recently, His Excellency, the Governor of Kano State, issued checks of 1.9 billion naira to CRCs across the 44 LGS, which means each and every local government is expected to get about 43 million. And out of the 484 wards that exist in Kano State, each and every ward is expected to get about 3.9 million naira. But the question here is, I am covered, I want to believe that I am covered by the words of His Excellency yesterday. During his opening remarks, he said, feel free to challenge any policy you feel is not right. I am not challenging, I'm only criticizing and also offering solution. You see, when you have specialized issues that require specialized declaration of emergencies, you also have to think in a specialized manner. This CRC is being established by law, there is no doubt. And the CRCs have done very well in their own way. But for me, I feel the CRC are becoming overwhelmed by being involved in so many activities. For example, it is now rainy season. The CRC will be in charge of distribution of fertilizers. The CRC will be in charge of any other. Why don't we leverage on the SBMC as a specialized group of people? The SBMCs have a composition of 16 persons, including pupils, including head teachers, including Masu Ungwani and what have you. I think, in my personal opinion and in my argument, the SBMCs will have been utilized, and I feel they could have done better. I remember very well when the representative of Plain, Madam, was making her presentation yesterday. She said each and every school has done what they call self-assessment. And the reports of these self-assessments are with the headmasters. She even mentioned that contact the headmasters, they have all the records. The headmasters are the secretaries of these SBMCs. So why don't we utilize them? This is one. Secondly, as Dr. Ali Utile mentioned very well, there is supposed to be a distinction between politics and education. I understand and I agree that there are points of convergence, but there are also points of convergence. The declaration of emergency, for me, I think is not only enough. We should be able to understand the points of convergence between politics and education, and we should also be able to understand the points of divergence between politics and education. Thank you.
You have given us a half-baked cake. Where are the points of divergence and the points of convergence?
Thank you very much, Doctor, for a very nice observation. I think that's why we are all here. And that is the beauty of democracy. And that is why people are hailing Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf. Because he was bold enough to call people and say, okay, now this is the situation we are. Let us know the way forward. That is a very bold step, and he must be appreciated for that. Having said that, I would like to just draw the attention of the last speaker. You see, when you say there is point of convergence and point of divergence, I think the state government is proving to you, yes, they fully agree with that. Because I don't think there's anybody that was invited here or is invited here based on his political affiliation. People are invited here based on their professionalism. So we are now setting aside political issue. We are now bringing professionalism. That's why we invited all these important people that are professors, doctors, and what have you, to come and tell us what do we do now that we have state of emergency. And when we declare that state of emergency, we didn't stop there. That's why we say, okay, now let us hold this meeting and now know the way forward. And that's what we are going to do, inshallah. From this stage, you will see the way things will start going on. When you talk about the issue of CRC, you see, the CRC, the chairman of CWP is here, the CRC were given this money after professionals went around the whole state. I can attest to you, I can show you. We have all the breakdown of minor repairs. The roofs, the ceiling, those minor repairs. They're not going to do major repairs. Minor repairs that will make school uninhabitable, like leaking roof and other things. This is what they are going to do. And I'm assuring you that if you are in Kano in 2011 to 2015, you can see, you can go around the whole state. Hardly will you find any school that has leaking roof or something like that. That is exactly what we want to replicate. I thank you very well for your contribution, and we are surely going to take it up, inshallah. What we want is a Kano where education is put at the forefront. Like you said, DECTA is one example. We have many of them here. Look at the DG, Director General of the Statistician General of the State SG. He's an associate professor. He's also a product of that same initiative. And what we want is a situation whereby, before long time, Kano will excel on anything education in Nigeria, inshallah. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Commissioner.
Let me crave your indulgence, ladies and gentlemen. that there is Dr. Abimbola Osunsota, who has been waiting. He's in US. His presentation is ready. So let's give him 7 minutes to make his own presentation. Yeah, 7. Who are 7 Makabash? Yeah, Dr. Abimbola.
Hello?
Yeah. So,
Yes. How are you, sir?
Fine, thank you. Please, or let's condense it. Can you make your presentation in 5 minutes?
5 minutes.
Yeah, just give us the summary and then your recommendations.
Oh, okay. Recommendation. Okay. So am I presenting next?
Yeah. So share.
Hello, sir. Am I presenting next?
Are you what?
Am I presenting now?
Yeah, you are presenting right now. Go ahead.
Oh, wow. Because I'm not with my computer, I just joined you to listen to what is happening, sir.
Uh-oh. So if you are not with your computer...
If I don't have opportunity to present today, now, maybe some other time I'll have opportunity to present.
So, he cannot present.
All right, sir. I'm sorry about that. I'm actually on a ship in Gulf of Mexico.
Okay. And
All right, sir.
he's not
Thank
ready.
you.
So he's not with his computer.
Honorable Commissioner, sir, I think at this stage, this gentleman from the US is not ready. It's only fair that we invite Dr. Stephen Onyekwelu, who will do us the guest presentation. He will speak on improving the education outcomes in Kano State through a system-wide approach, a non-formal education pathway. If Dr. Stephen Onyekwelu is with us...
It's already here. It's already.
He should come, okay. You are welcome, sir. I have a little story to tell before you start, sir.
Sir?
I have a little story, maybe about a minute, not up to a minute.
Please go ahead, sir.
When General Gawan was in power, some of us students from this part of the country, like me, I was from this place, it was then ABC, ABU. We were deployed to do post-enumeration census in the southern part of the country. So I was sent to the then East Central State. They had no military governor, they have an administrator, late Mr. Ukpabi Asika. So at that time there was no IMO, so we were deployed to Mbitoli Ikeduru local government. Now I understand each one is a local government, Mbitoli local government, Ikeduru local government. And while there, I came through a very nice person who has been my friend. I lost contact with him less than 20 years ago. And his name was Godson Onyekwelu. So when I saw your name on the program, sir, I said, oh God, maybe I'm going to catch a big fish today, somebody who will link me up with my old friend. Are you from Mbitoli Ikeduru of Imo State, sir? Yes or no? You are most welcome to Kano.
No.
That has a civilization lasting more than 1,000 years.
Simple,
you are welcome
sir.
to Kano, sir.
No. The young man standing before you.
Not from there. Oh?
No, I'm not from there.
Wait, let me help you. Okay. Which means your trap of getting your friend is still awaiting result.
Thank you, sir. A professor is a professor any day. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. I'm from Delta State. My name is Dr. Stephen, and I am standing in here for UNESCO. The chair, sir, the commissioner, and the members of the high table. I thank God for this opportunity. I never knew I was going to be asked to say something. But because a lot of things have been said covering my area, I am more or less going to just pass information. I won't take your time. Thank you very much. The media, please, let's go to the next slide. The title of my presentation, with the intention that I was going to have enough time, was improving the education sector outcomes in Kano State through system-wide approach, a non-formal education pathway. But I'm going to pass information on to us. I don't want to go into these theories of non-formal education out of school, or the UNESCO strategy for out of school, or the Marrakech 2022 framework for action. All those are what UNESCO have been doing in the thematic area. But I want to use just 3 minutes to show us a brief video clip. Media, please. And with the volume. Can you activate the volume, please?
With its 16 offices and 2 institutes in the region and its multiple partner networks, UNESCO has developed programs that have transformed the daily lives of millions of people for more than 70 years. The promotion of social cohesion and a culture of peace in Africa are the keys to its sustainable development. That's why UNESCO works vigorously for dialogue, mutual respect, and freedom of expression. With its partners, we are working to rethink the future of Africa and respond to the emerging challenges of the 21st century. By taking forward the debate on artificial intelligence in Africa and providing thousands of young people with scientific and entrepreneurial training through ICTs. By empowering local radio stations with ICTs throughout the region, UNESCO is helping citizens play the lead role in their own development. UNESCO emphasizes the empowerment of girls and women to speed up progress and drive forward change. By boosting the technical skills and job opportunities for women, and by using mobile phone technology to bring inclusive, quality education to out-of-school girls. It preserves the heritage and cultural expressions that carry our shared values and emphasizes the diversity of African presence in the world of today. It fosters the scientific knowledge that is essential to respond to climate change and preserve biodiversity. UNESCO World Heritage Sites, biosphere reserves like those in the Lake Chad Basin, and global geoparks are regional hubs for sustainable development. With its partners, UNESCO currently implements more than 210 programs in Africa, reaching millions of people. The challenges are immense and time is short. Join us and let's work together for our shared humanity.
Thank you very much. UNESCO, as most of us are aware, is a repository of knowledge and innovation. UNESCO is the UN lead agency for the SDG 4, Education 2030. We all know, especially those of us from the institution, the higher institution. UNESCO, since 1945, after its establishment, has been fighting for global peace, using education, using culture, using science, communication, social and human science to advance peace. And we have our specialized institutes to support this initiative. Next slide, please. We have global agenda focusing on Africa and then gender equality. UNESCO is seeing how Africa can develop and how we can ensure gender equality in education, in everything. That is our priority for Africa. Next slide, please. Now, before I wouldn't want to go in detail because we all know the emphasis of the federal government roadmap on education, but UNESCO, earlier before now, has a strategy for youth and adult literacy covering 2020 to 2025. 2022, we had the convention, the Marrakech Framework for Action on literacy, adult and national education. The whole convention and the whole framework is talking about how to address the issue of out of school, teacher competencies, and the application of technology in education delivery. The next, okay. Now, the federal government of Nigeria has set their vision as far as education is concerned. The renewed hope agenda, and government is saying they are committed to treat education as a natural and constitutional right for all Nigerians. And His Excellency, the governor of Kano State, has keyed into the vision of the federal government and declared emergency in the education sector, and then did something that UNESCO will not forget in a hurry by increasing the budget, education budget for the state to 29.5. Can we put our hands together again for His Excellency? We have been going around states in the country. We have not seen any state that has budgeted above, which we recommended UNESCO, 15 to 20% of the state budget to national budget to education. But Kano State has set the pace. Put your hands together for that. The FME has also identified challenges facing out of school in Nigeria. I don't want to bother us that. The issue of a social-cultural factor, the issue of distance, of economic factor, poverty, and all the rest. We all know them. But the issue, like the SSG said yesterday, we are gathered here to look for solution. The problems are known. And then the state has its education strategic plan. What can we do? The next slide. SIGO. The next one. I don't want to bother us here. These are the strategies identified. Provide technical, vocational and entrepreneurship trade skills to out of school. I identified with 3 here. There are many. Provision of technical and vocational entrepreneurship skill, and then strengthening the non-formal education sector through adequate funding, and the other one, driving political will at the local level through regular engagement. I'm interested in these 3. Next slide. And then that is the statement of His Excellency. He wants an education system that is all-embracing, everybody playing his or her role to ensure that education in Kano State is recovered to its earlier glory. And he said everybody must be involved, including the international donor partner. That is why we are here. UNESCO, UNICEF, PLAN, and all the rest. The next slide. It's about data. I don't want to bother us. Yesterday, Prof. gave us a plethora of data. And the issue here is that data is critical. We can't plan without it. And what you hear is today somebody will say 10.5 out of school, 20.5. We need to harmonize that. Now, go to the next slide, please. The system-wide approach to improving the education sector in Kano. If you are familiar with the federal government roadmap, the director mentioned it yesterday, that we should say something, do something about issue of data, quality data, reliable data, the issue of out of school, the issue of teacher competency, and then skill development. Now, out of school is part of the SDG 4. Literacy is also part of the SDG 4. In fact, literacy has a target SDG 4 Target 6 that we should ensure that all youth and a substantial proportion of adults, both men and women, achieve literacy and numeracy. And this is what we are discussing today. The next slide. Yeah. The issue of TVET. We are talking about system-wide approach now. The issue of TVET is important. Then the issue of health and well-being of students and learners in the school system is very key. The next slide. We may not have time to go into detail, but I just want to highlight how UNESCO is looking at it holistically. Yes. Here is where I want to start my discussion. UNESCO is now a national office. Before 2023, we cover 8 countries within the sub-region. By the special grace of God, I've been the literacy focal person for the 8 countries within the sub-region until last year when we attained the status of a national office. The argument is that they say Nigeria is a big country, that there are about 8 countries in Nigeria. And so Nigeria should attain the status of a national office. And I think it's called for appreciation. Now, the implication is this. It means the programs and regular programs and extra budget programs will be running in 8 countries are going to be domiciled in Nigeria. And then we have a regional director we call the head of office, resident right now in Abuja. Now, UNESCO, this is where we operate. We have what we call regular programs that are funded from Paris. And then we have what we call extra budgetary projects that are funded through self-benefiting trust in fund. Now, for our regular programs, which are funded by Paris, and all of that will be implemented in Nigeria, we cover right to education, inclusive education. We cover TVET, literacy, higher education, STEM education. We cover education management information system. Then we also cover issue of technology and all the repositories and digital tools, and then gender equality and gender responsiveness. For extra budgetary projects, right now in Nigeria, UNESCO is championing the BEAR project. And yesterday, I told us that BEAR means better education for Africa's rise. Better education for Africa's rise. What are we saying? I told you our priority is Africa. The issue here is how do we use education to bring Africa to its limelight and compete favorably with other continents. And then again, we have the Girl Initiative 2024 to 2025, where UNESCO is championing the digital capacity building of our literacy educators. How do we deliver using technology in our educational institutions? Then emphasis is also on teacher education, capacity building. We are working with so many agencies. The BEAR project is supporting UNESCO. We are collaborating with the Korea Republic. Then the GAL is our Hamburg. And then the peace building is in Gombe State here in Nigeria. And then again, the teacher project, which the EU is supporting UNESCO, is to build teacher competencies in Nigeria. We have selected 3 states. I don't want to mention them now. When the project is released, the states that are going to benefit, perhaps Kano will be part of it, you will all know. Then, promoting school health education for girls. We are working with the Peking University of China. And then our right, our lives, our future, which is the O3 project, we are covering in Nigeria 8 states already with this project. And then the disability inclusion, where the entire UN said, UNESCO, please help us to champion the inclusion of persons with disability. And we are running, last week, I don't know how many of you participated in that program. The whole of them were in Abuja last week. UNESCO championed it. The Commission for Persons with Disability, they were there. And then they built their capacity in various areas, and the project continues. Next slide. Yeah, thank you very much, sir. Now, we have existing window The existing window means what is UNESCO doing that we can benefit? By the grace of God, the Honorable Commissioner, on Monday, next week, that is 15th of this month, Monday coming, UNESCO will be here and in this hall to support Kano State with the beer project. We are collaborating with, we are working with the Dangote Ultramodern Center for Skill Acquisition. What are we doing? We are saying that time has gone when we'll be talking about literacy, literacy, literacy. After literacy, what next? Their capacity must be built. They will be empowered with skill so that after acquiring the basic literacy, you have a skill to be able to fend for yourself, to be able to contribute to the upkeep of your family, and to be able to contribute to the societal development. So they will acquire skill while they are learning, not just learning how to read and write, but they will have a trade. And those trades are going to be learned using technology. Another one is the Girl Initiative. Last year, UNESCO started it, and we are looking at 10,000 literacy educators to be empowered with digital competencies to deliver. And that one cuts across all the states. The Federal Ministry of Education is aware, NATCOM is aware, the National Commission for Mass Literacy, Adult and National Education, MEC is aware, and all NGOs, we are demonstrating that to show how teachers can use technology to be able to do what? To deliver literacy. Now, our recommendation, my brothers and sisters, what the young men did this afternoon, the EduTech, and then I think the Jixon, is an eye-opener to all of us. We have come a long way. Nigeria, Kano State in particular, we have come to a level where we should rethink education, application of technology. If you can imagine this young man coming to demonstrate what he did this afternoon, I think there is need to even clap for them. Please clap for them. We need to rethink education by applying technology. We are talking about how to pay facilitators, how to build classes, how to infrastructure, this and that. Technology can handle all that. One person will deliver. The COVID-19 opened our eyes. In Nigeria, many schools were closed down. UNESCO developed so many apps, and schools were running in many countries. We can do so. All we need is what? The political will to support education. We need to improve TVET. Education has gone beyond talking. We need to invest in human capital, build the capacity of the teacher. Franklin said, an investment in knowledge pays the best dividend, the best interest. We should invest in them. And then improve funding for non-formal education. I don't know whether the Executive Secretary of Agency for Mass Education, Kano, is here. Your Excellencies, we need to support non-formal education funding. It is the least funded in every place. Now, if we don't fund them, the dropouts, the people who call out of school, will continue, the number will continue to increase because they are the ones to inherit it, plus what the UBEC and the SUBEBs are doing. And then institutionalize quality assurance system. Time is past. When you say you are a supervisor, inspector of education, you go and be harassing people. Today, if you are an inspector of education, you go and share the burden, not monitoring them with the intention to find fault, but to collaborate with the school system to improve the system. That is the whole essence of quality assurance. And finally, sir, I join everyone that has spoken to say that accountability in education is key. If you are the manager, they give you money, you are the principal, you are the VC, you utilize the money for the benefit of the state. And I end with Nelson Mandela. He said, education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to do what? To change the world. Thank you very much.
And we said you have to decolonize education for it to be that effective. I was told that the last person to present is Dr. Adeyemi Adebayo. Okay, on data Because data is the key. So let's hear the last presentation. Please, you have 7 minutes.
I will just talk 2 minutes.
2 minutes?
Yeah. The chairman of this occasion, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for this wonderful opportunity, even to talk at this time. I will draw inspiration, especially from the last speaker, who talked about the use of technology in education. We know that the trend at which the world is going is drawing more emphasis on use of technology. Not quite long today, the Honorable Commissioner for Education said he visited a school where the principal of the school loaded 600 students who are not part of the students of that school on the platform. The solution that the state can adopt is available, and that's what we believe so much in. We use technology to gather data. Solution to all problems in education emanate from inadequate data in our schools. What are the types of data we have in education? We need enrollment data. We need to know which children are where. Because resources are distributed based on data. It is normal for human beings to want to doctor data to attract more resources to themselves. But if the state digitizes or digitalizes their data, enrollment can be taken on a tablet. Teachers in the school will mark the name of the children. The teacher himself, attendance will be marked in the school. Marks for the children, if the teacher teaches them, is recorded on the platform. The parents at home, if they have the facility, they can access it. The Honorable Commissioner for Education, while sitting in his office, we know how many children are registered in the state. The discrepancies in data will be a thing of the past. So what we are suggesting for the state is that the state should adopt the use of technology to take attendance of children in the school, to know where they are located, to know what facilities are available. Like yesterday, they were saying classrooms were built where they are not needed. The reason is that we don't have reliable data. If the data is available, there will be no need to build those facilities where they are not available. What we are recommending to Kano State, like I said earlier, is to adopt technology in gathering data of the children. Annual school census data will be equal. This will emanate from the school to the local government, to the state, and even to the federal. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Doctor, for your concise presentation. I think this is where, this is the last presentation we are going to take, but I don't know whether the presenters are around, and I don't know whether people will have any question or contribution to the scene. But it seems we are all tired, since morning. Let me not conclude that one, but honestly speaking, if you are teaching in the class, when you look at your class, whether they are taking it or they are tired. So, yes, my name is Dr. Anas. Dr. Anas. Yeah? Okay. The Honorable Commissioner said we are waiting for the communique. So instead of sitting idle like that, please try to recapitulate what has been said. We had a total of 12 presentations here. I know by now we have forgotten the first one, but even if we can remember the last one, let's ask questions before we get the communique, and then we read it and we go. Dr. Anas. Okay, who is it? All right. I mean, there, Galadanci, bayar wani zai question. But sai a kai mushi gashi can. Is this a question or contribution? If it is question, you can tell us the person you are addressing the question to, so we can call him to answer. Gashi na gaba.
Sir, I think mine is rather a contribution. From all the papers we had from yesterday to today, I still have one area of concern. That is on the issue of the quality of the teachers, which of course most of the presenters have highlighted. And I felt there is the need for either Kano or the Arewa Consultative Forum to see the possibility of the states, at least in the Northwest, to cooperate in coming up or scaling up the scripted lesson style from Rana as well as from play. Because, of course, lecturers have accepted that the low quality of our teachers in lesson delivery, which, of course, really have an impact on the learning outcome. Our teachers sincerely need these scripted lessons across all the core subjects so as to enhance learning outcome. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you for your suggestion. There is another person here. Gashinamba.
Good evening, all. Permit me to stand on existing protocol. Of all that has been said in the presentations yesterday and today, we can understand by implication that the private schools are critical stakeholders in this drive to education recovery in Kano in particular, and in most other places. But surprisingly, not much has been said about their role or in terms of even regulation, because they are very, very critical as far as the educational sector is concerned now. So not much has been said about regulating their activities, because as it is now, there are a lot of things that need attention of the government in their drive to the education recovery. Thank you.
Yes, Gans. Gashina, you are taking over.
Assalamu alaikum. What we really lost in the state is strict administration of education. You require supervisors to supervise the teachers and check what they are teaching the students. If you don't provide somebody that can guide the teachers, then you are doing nothing. You have to have honest people who can pass the resources to teachers to teach in our primary schools and secondary schools.
Yes, okay, thank you. Aminu, Cha.
Who next?
Wait, in the Kana Kusa, wait, let him give the man behind, then you come down. Eh?
MashaAllah. Thank you. I mean, taking off from our teacher there, talking about honesty, we clamor for digital support for improving education, and we think is the only solution. If the behavior element is not addressed, you can take enrollment, and then whatever digital thing you have can also give you wrong information. You want pupils to indicate that they are present, and then the teacher wants the record of attendance to be high for him or her to benefit from some incentives. So he invites dropouts and out of school to term print or whatever, and then the number rises. So let's also look at community norms and other things that will improve the attitudes and conduct of our teachers and the school managers, not just looking at IT, as if it's the only solution. It's not. It is useful, but it has to be backed by appropriate behaviors that will enhance improvement in the conduct of the teachers and other leaders that are managing the system. Thank you.
Yeah, I quite agree with you. We are one-dimensional in our approach. We think this. But you see, we have many best practices, okay? Look at Malaysia, look at Rwanda, look at India and other things. That is why when I say, let's decolonize our educational system, they are able to achieve something because we are still limited literacy to English, literacy and numeracy. Where are the Chinese? Where are the Indians? Where are the French? Where are the Japanese? They don't sit down and say this. I have been very critical actually about this. And that is why if somebody, for example, we are here, somebody who wants to come here and read vernacular, he must have credit in English. What is the essence? Okay? Unless we do these things and look inward strictly and try to build an education that will address our yearnings, I think will be wasting a lot of times in terms of trying to say technology and other things. Okay? So take it to the other person. Yeah?
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Abdulrazak Adozangu. I'm an educational technologist and also a disabled rights activist. Okay, my question goes straight to the chairman, the Commissioner for Education, concerning persons with disabilities, education or the rights of children with disability. As far as we are concerned here in Kano, we have up to 34 special education schools in Kano. Titi Maliki is one that has is a primary, secondary, also day and boarding school. We have 97 female teachers, 125 male teachers, giving us a 222 number of teachers, catering for 1,534 male students and 1,265 female students, giving us up to 2,799 pupils. How can we be able to get inclusive education in Kano? What is the government doing in order to procure and also to utilize and disseminate disability-specific materials to these schools, and also when employing new teachers or recruitments, what is the percentage given to the special education teachers that are being graduated from Bayero University, Department of Special Education, Saadat Rimi, College of Education, FCET, and all other types of teacher training education people, so that we can be able to fill in this gap. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. It's a question, Honorable Commissioner is around, but I'll repeat the question. He's talking about, oh good.
Thank you very much. Mala Abrazak, thank you very much for this wonderful question. I know this question will come from him. I was opportune to visit his school, and I was amazed with the way he was teaching his student. He's a person with special need, but not notwithstanding, if you see the way the student loves him, the way he was teaching them, I was so moved and amazed. He's teaching in one of our secondary school at Festival, I think Festival Secondary School. I met him there while teaching on a visit. You see, even this employment that we did, I don't have the actual figures, but I can tell you that we have employed people living with special need. And what we are trying to avoid is the issue of, the close person to you will tell you that, what we are trying to avoid now in the education sector is allocating certain percentage to certain class of people. We had wanted to say, okay, let us have the best of the best. When we are doing that, we are ensuring quality, and we are making sure that things are done the way they're supposed to be done. But I can assure you that this issue you raised will be critically looked into. The chairman's web is here, and inshallah, during any employment, we are going to consider your people. There is also another question that I heard from somebody about female staff, female teachers. I can tell you that the issue of having less number of female teachers in Kano is like a kind of forgotten issue. Because even with the recent employment that we did in Subeb, the number of women is even trying to overshadow that of men in the employment list. So the women are coming off, and they are coming off with a very good number. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Commissioner.
No, I'm not going for a question. I think they are ready with the community.
They are, sir.
They are. Before he came up with the community, we have an announcement to make. You see, to prove to everybody that, like was said by His Excellency, that this government is an action government, the committee that sat and organized this meeting was headed by Malam Tajuddin Gambo, who was a former permanent secretary in the Ministry of Education, former commissioner, and now special advisor to the governor on education. We are going to give them another job right now, right here. They will collect all the papers presented, the communique, and the strategic plan that we have in the ministry for 2024. And within 1 week from today to the 18th of July, they will come up with a comprehensive report of this conference. After that, we are giving them 1 month again to come up with to develop emergency response plan, to submit interim report on emergency response plan as per the discussion that we held on this meeting. So on the 18th of August, we are going to collect an interim report from them. And on the 18th of September, we are going to collect a full report on comprehensive emergency response plan that will be received by His Excellency, the Governor of Kano State, Alhaji Abubakar Yusuf. Thank you very much. This one is not going to be business as usual. It is going to be action as a new agenda. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Honorable Commissioner, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Sir, we have two very important announcements. Number one, a good Samaritan who I believe is a participant has lost his national identification number, Zakaria Yunusa. He should come forward to collect it. And there is a young man who has a good news for the Honorable Commissioner and Kano in general. And I give you 1 minute, please. Come over. Please, 1 minute. Honorable Commissioner, sir, I have some good news. Come here. No, you are going to do it there? You can do it here. Yes, 1 minute.
Okay. It's better, I think, speaking in Hausa, inshallah. Okay, we have an application. Muna da wata manhaja da mutum zai samu a wayar shi, wadda idan za ka yi browsing duk abin da kake so, maimakon ka samu na turai, misali yanzu in ka shiga wayar ka tambaya a Google, maimakon ya baka abin da za ka samu a turai ko wani Birtaniya ko wani Oxford University a Ingila, to zai baka na Najeriya. Sannan kuma muna kira ga gwamnati da mu haɗin gwiwa da su domin duka project da aka yi da thesis da dissertation da aka yi a nan, waɗanda problem ne wanda aka yi solving a nan Najeriya, za su muka saka cikin wannan apps, to duk wanda ya browsing mai kai ga wani abu daban, to waɗannan abubuwan zai gani. Kuma library integrations, mana duka library din jihar Kano, tun daga polytechnic library, university library, public library, wannan secondary school library, duka za mu integrate din su wuri daya yadda mutum zai iya aro littafi ko kuma ya karanta duk wanda yake so kuma ya download a wayan shi. Thank you very much.
Allah ya muku albarka. Honorable Commissioner for Education, Kano State, sir. Honorable Commissioner for Higher Education, sir. There is another announcement. all LOC members, local organizing committee members, are to meet with the chairman tomorrow after Friday Masjid at 2:30 in his office at the Kano Educational Resource Center. 2:30, immediately after Friday prayers. Please, LOC members to take note. And we now humbly, it has been a very busy day. The government of Kano State has taken the bull by the horn, resolved to rejuvenate education, to recover our fortunes in the area of education. The world has gathered in the ancient city made up of international and local partners, educationists, education administrators, academics and academicians, leaders of thought, politicians, civil society, traditional rulers, teachers who had served even before the advent of Nigeria's independence. We have some of them here. They are here to see that this project is through. It has been a wonderful session, yesterday and today. Most blessed. We extend our gratitude and thanks to all those who took part in making this great event a reality. We now humbly invite the presentation committee led by Professor Musa Tukuria Kasei, made up of rapporteurs and 2 chairs of breakout sessions, to come forward with their report, after which we shall hear the Honorable Commissioner for Higher Education, who will speak to us in the area of closing remarks. So now Professor Musa Tukuria Kasei should come up with their report, the communique report. You are welcome, sir.
The Honorable Commissioner of Higher Education and Higher Educations.
Sorry, sir. Gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, Professor Tukuru is the Vice Chancellor of Aliko Dangote University of Technology. You are most welcome, distinguished Vice Chancellor, sir.
While congratulating the organizers for this very, very important and timely conference, I would like to present the communique issued at the end of this 2-day Kano State Education Recovery Conference with the theme Repositioning Education in Kano State, Navigating the Path of Excellence, and organized by Kano State Government in collaboration with the development partners. I've understood that the time is not on our side, so I'm going to skip all the preamble and go straight into observations. The conference observed overwhelming need for support from stakeholders in addressing major gaps and challenges in the educational sector, and therefore recommend as follows. 1, the need for promotion of access to quality education, especially for out-of-school children and marginalized groups, through conditional grants and provision of essential materials such as school uniform and textbooks. The above approach should be implemented to addressing the challenges of out-of-school children. We also recommend in our communique that the government at all levels should explore alternative innovative sources of financing the educational sector through such as insurance, green bonds, Islamic financing, endowments, community participation, private-public partnership, corporate responsibility, NGOs, and development partners as appropriate. Number 4, the government should champion the Arewa-centric approach to revitalizing and mainstreaming the Almajiri system of education. Number 5, the reactivation of Kano State Educational Development Support Fund for sustainable funding of education at all levels. All approved educational policies should be fully implemented and tied to the mutual accountability framework. We also, and government should prioritize human capital development for training and retraining of teachers at all levels of education. Government should address socio-cultural barriers and promote improved learning time and invest in infrastructure development to address issues of flexibility challenges, especially for the afternoon sessions where an average of 2 hours is allowed, and by the end of the week, you'll find out that the actual time is really a disadvantage. Also, government should explore avenues of curriculum development tailored towards meeting the needs of emerging issues such as debate at basic and sub-basic levels. Government should diverse politics and ensure transparency in the education sector for development and sustainability. We also recommend it for government to ensure phased implementation of mother tongue policies at basic educational level. The conference congratulates the government of Kano State for 29.9% budgetary allocations to the educational sector and called for prompt release and effective utilization of this budgetary allocation. Government should address infrastructure challenge and ensure teaching resources, including ICT integration, into the basic education. Government should also strengthen monitoring and evaluation to track progress and accountability using mechanism of mutual accountability and other frameworks to address policy implementation gaps. Government should strictly conduct periodic assessment of all schools to ensure provision of quality materials, qualified managerial, teaching, and non-teaching staff. Government should strengthen the basic school feeding program to ensure nutrition, enrollment, attendance, retention, and transition. Government should accord maximum attention to special education in order to give equitable access to people with special needs. And I think the communication is speaking to the issues raised currently. And finally, government should conduct periodic learning poverty survey for planning and accountability purpose. Arising from the foregoing, the conference concludes that participants commended the Kano State government for its bold and courageous stand for the revival of educational sector by launching the state of emergency on education, as well as convening this conference in collaboration with other development partners, during which experts brainstorm on the way forward. Equally, participants commend the development partners, donor agencies, and other relevant stakeholders for their support and cooperation to the education sector, in particular, and other interventions for the development of the states, and call for the implementation of the recommendations as presented. The Northern State Governance Forum should join educational recovery efforts initiated by Kano State across the North in order to support this very, very timely initiative by Kano State government. On this note, I would like to move motion for the adoption of this communique as presented. I so moved. Is somebody second? You are a member of the communique group, so I think I should not allow you. Yeah, so the mic, SBMC.
So, Assalamu alaikum. Dr. Kabir Hamis Kura is my name. I'm seconding the move.
No, I think let me withdraw because I'm one of the authors.
Withdraw. Okay, Dr. Kabir Hamis Kura, I am moving the motion that the communique as presented should be accepted and approved by the House.
Who is seconding?
Yeah. No, excuse me. There is an observation from, we want to be gender sensitive. And so I want to invite an observation is raised. Yes.
So,
yes.
okay.
There's a motion and observation raised maybe before adoption. And I think let's be democratic and let's allow, yeah. No, give him the mic. Yeah. Mic. PS is.
The convention is to allow for observations before adoption.
Yeah.
I have noted some places which are very important where you talk about emerging issues. And I doubt what was presented there if it is an emerging issue. Because technical vocational education and training is one of the policy strategies which we have been in place for many years. Instead, one should expect issues about aftermath of COVID-19, security issues, and many others as emerging issues, not TVET. So please take note of that. And I'm sure there may be observations from participants in other places. Even though we don't have time, notwithstanding, I think there should be space before the adoption for comments or observations.
Bullet 9 provides for promoting, this is not it, but in addition, there are so many other issues around trying to enrich the curricula so that basic and sub-basics can have some.
So if you look at all the presentations, take note of the relevance of the non-formal sector, specifically the Kano State Agency for Mass Education. But in the communique, nothing of such was specifically addressed in the communique. Thank you.
This is also noted. Yeah. Yeah, this is very, very valid. Any other, motion for adoption?
Just
observations, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good afternoon. Just one observation on the way the construct was made as regards to curriculum. Curriculum is a national policy. I would rather suggest that it be reconstructed to make Kano State to do advocacy for curriculum update or something like that.
I think Secretary should know this also. Yeah, and no, let's give two. 1, 2. Yes.
We understand the concern of people on this, but we are advocating that whosoever has an observation, because we understand that the observations are just like an addendum to what was captured. So whosoever has an observation, please put it in written and submit to the Secretariat.
Exactly.
Thank you very much.
That's how it should be.
And also the Secretariat should also factor in this as observed. Yeah, in addition to what was observed. So motion moved for adoption of this. And a woman, please. Yeah.
Yes, it has already been seconded.
No, it was moved by somebody and somebody on the floor.
My son.
What a tatash already. Yeah.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. My name is Bilkisu Hamis Meyali. I'm an adult facilitator. I second the motion on the committee today. Thank you.
As amended.
As amended.
Yes, using all the observations raised. So on this note, I would like to also congratulate the organizers for this thing and to get our readers to participate and to support this very, very wonderful initiative. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Chukwuri Akase. That has been a wonderful job. It is now my honor and privilege to recognize or to invite one of the technical advisors of the FCDO, Ian Atler, who wants to thank the committee, the government of Kano State, and the entire people of Kano State. He wants to do it there. We also welcome Dr. Leo, Director Education of the Governors Forum. You are welcome, sir. He is also going to talk to us briefly. Yes.
Great, thank you. So what I've learned today is that as an honorary Kano indigene is not to say what Kano State can do for me. It's for us all to understand what we can do for Kano State. I've been tremendously impressed by the quality, the breadth, and the depth of discussion at this conference. This is post-colonialism, not neo-colonialism, and really, all solutions, evidence, debate needs to be coming from homegrown. So to see such a gathering of academics, practitioners, policymakers, civil society, teachers, educators has been really amazing. So I would like to thank everybody for coming and for their long attention. Through the PLANE program, we've been busy as well on trying to move forward some of the sort of laws and guidelines. Michalo, could you pass me the papers?
Thank you very much. Ian Kano, he is a Bompai man. We'll make sure you don't go back to UK.
Yeah, thanks. I would like to hand over to the Honourable Commissioner this set of draft policies, because PLANE's been working on the non-state school policy.
Thank you very much, sir.
Girls' education, Jesse, and teacher development programs. So we hope, while we know that the revisions to the 1964 laws are going on, I hope that these can get considered by the executive and signed and passed very soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now, on what we've heard today, we're certainly listening, because through the PLANE program, we really want to help take forward a lot of the good ideas and initiatives. I would encourage you from Kano State to really think about the equity issues, because we have to think about where the money is, what money is available. So please don't forget some of the policies around to helping the most marginal and vulnerable children. Certainly a number of the Al-Madrai and other children who are currently out of any sort of form of informal or formal education. It is really important to include some of those children in the support that we offer. The PLANE program is currently putting together its work plans for the coming year. It roughly matches the academic year starting in September. So we'll be very happy. I will certainly give approval to try to align the PLANE program to make sure that we can support all of the policies that are being put forward within the financial resources that we hold. As I've sort of said earlier, the financial resources that we directly control, or the Kano State, need to be supplemented. And certainly we will try to draw more money to Kano through whatever sources, in particular through the development partners where we hold very close relationships. Finally, I would say that this conference, the origins took place within the FCDO office with a discussion, I think, with some members of the Arua Forum and the state government that we had back last November. At that point, this conference was just an idea, but that idea wouldn't have come forward without this marvelous conference that we've been honoured to be a privilege to be a part of, without the really, really hard work, first and foremost, of the Kano State Government, led by the Honourable Commissioner. Thank you, Commissioner. And of course, the blessing and the support that we've had from His Excellency, the Governor. But there's been long, long hours put in by the committee, and I would like to, under the leadership of the Special Advisor, Gambo, please could you and the committee members come on stage to take a round of applause, please, sir. So, and Mikhailo, would you like to come up? All committee members that we have in the room. Do we have Nadim Lawal? All committee members, please. Let's come up, because they really need to take credit for the amazing job that they've done. You want to come up? Come up to the stage.
Committee members. What happened to Hadi today?
Wow, I think the committee is so large we might be breaking the stage. But can you please give all the committee a really, really huge Kano round of applause? Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you so much for your leadership. Okay. Okay, thank you, everybody. Thank you very much, committee members.
While the LOC members go back to their seats, I invite Dr. Leo of the Director of Education Governors Forum to speak to us for 2 minutes, but make sure you don't touch the controversial, sensitive issue of minimum wage. I will cut you off. You don't do why you're here, sir.
I'm not going to do that.
Limit yourself to education recovery in Kano State.
Thank you very much, sir. Honorable Commissioners, thank you very much for a wonderful work well done. My name is Dr. Leo from the Nigerian Governors Forum. I'm representing the Director General of the Nigerian Governors Forum in this conference, and I'm also the National Coordinator of the Committee of State Commissioners of Education in Nigeria, COSEN. So I bring you goodwill messages from the entire commissioners in Nigeria and to appreciate Kano State for an excellent conference. Thank you, Honorable Commissioner.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, there is something that came up from the communique, very important. I'm going to engage with the 19 commissioners of education in the 19 northern states, and then we're going to write to the Northern Governors Forum to host a conference for the entire northern region. That I can assure you. And as soon as I get back to Abuja, there is something I'm going to do as quickly as possible. The entire commissioners of the northern states will be engaged and will follow up as quickly as possible with the Northern Governors Forum to host a comprehensive conference to address educational issues in the entire northern Nigeria. Secondly, the Nigerian Governors Forum also has a framework of action to ensure that we address educational crisis in the country. That framework of action is something we're looking at. We call it the Education Community of Practice, and it's going to be established across the 774 local government area. And there you will see that we engage all stakeholders. That will also be the opportunity for anybody who is in government in any state to have a school to own up. Those who are at the State House of Assembly, House of Reps, and the Senate will also be part of that community of practice, so that whatever happens in the particular local government, the schools within that vicinity will be attended to through what we will call the Girl Child Education Volunteer Advocate Group. So they will link up with that education community of practice to address it. This is something that the governors are very, 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 very critical about, and they want to address the out-of-school challenge in the country. And finally, I want to thank the participants and my two honorable commissioners. They are also my bosses for a wonderful work well done. I will let their colleagues know that this is what they've been able to do, and to also ensure that all other states hear from what has happened in Kano State. It has been an excellent, excellent conference. They've been able to assemble all the experts in the education ecosystem within this vicinity and have helped to galvanize what we need to address the issue. The next action, as he rightly pointed out, is the aspect of implementation. And I am confident in him and his colleague that they are going to do the needful. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dr. Leo, Director of Education, Governors Forum. Thank you very much, sir. People are very eager to hear the Honorable Commissioner for Higher Education, who will give us the closing remarks. But I think it is only fair that we ask Plain to talk to us before we wind up. Please, Plain. Let's hear from Plain. Plain. Let's get somebody from Plain, please, to say a few words. Okay. Okay, somebody is coming. Good. The national coordinator is coming. Thank you very much, madam.
Honorable Commissioner, good evening, Honorable Commissioner, Higher Education. I'm very delighted to be here. I mean, this is a dream come true. Just like Ian said earlier, sometime in November, we started to think about this. It looked like a dream, and today it has come to fruition. This is so, so, so good. I mean, this conference has only demonstrated the seriousness of the state in implementing the reforms. I was just talking with my colleague there. I said, what a way. Because you've declared state of emergency, you know what the issues are. Now you are beginning to chart a course. You didn't just sit in your office to say, okay, so we've declared state of emergency, we're going to do 1, 2, 3. You've brought this whole wonderful people together to think through with you. And so this is very, very, very impressive. We hope and wish, we pray that this Kano State will implement all that we've heard here today. We stand ready to support you. We've heard your timetable of 3 months. We will work with you to develop that policy. Thank you very much. And on behalf of Plain, I'd like to thank our colleagues at the Arewa Consultative Forum because we did this together. We thank the government again. We thank all colleagues here and all development partners who have worked very hard to make sure that this happens. So thank you very much. We wish all of you journey mercies, and we are still here to work with you.
Thank you very much, National Coordinator, Plain. Madam, thank you. Honorable Commissioner, sir. Honorable Commissioner, Higher Education. Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, I will not let Her Excellency leave Kano without telling her a short story. Your Excellency, Mrs. Ladoja. Keep seated, ma. Keep seated. Remain seated, please. There was this accident in the First Republic. A car was involved in an accident, ma. And inside that car, that vehicle, were 3 people from the 3 major tribal groups of Nigeria: Yoruba, Hausa, Igbo. Where the accident took place, ma, suddenly from nowhere, a herbalist, a spiritualist emerged. He said he had miracle to bring those 3 people who had passed on. He will bring them alive. So the people of the nearby village were saying, yes, this one is only God who has that power. How can you do it? He said, no, I will do it. You know what he did? He first of all touched the Yoruba accident victim. He flashed amala by his mouth. He woke up. Next, the Hausa man. He knew some portions of the Quran. He called it. He said, but this one now, he's doing spiritualism now. So he asked his friend, you have collar? He said, put it in his mouth. The Hausa man, Goro, he came up alive. Next one, they put Ipu for the Igbo man. He never recovered. Then they tossed a coin. Kangaram, he woke up. So Igbo was money. I hope my friend Godson will not hear this so that he will come to my house and abuse me. I have nothing against Igbo. Ma, you are welcome to Kanuma. I now respectfully invite my prefect at school, Alhaji Tajuddin Gambo. When we were in school, the immediate first governor of Kano, Ganduje, we saw him in shorts. He left him in Form 3, he left me in Form 2. So then came time for Alhaji Tajo to be my house captain. Myself and the younger brother of the person sitting behind me, Megarinduse, Yana Alhaji Garba, late Mother Kibello, we will place an effigy in our beds and go to town without permission. Alhaji Tajo one day discovered, he said, so One day, he asked his own classmates to move to our bed. It's a double bed. So now, there were 2 people on our 2 beds. And he was monitoring us how we were going to town without permission. So when we came back, of course, illegally, we went to town illegally. We found 2 of his classmates. I can't remember whether it was Garba Ahmed or Rufai, but 2 of his classmates, Oyahaya Ubakar. He said, "What are you doing on our beds?" He said, "Shegu, you have been going, or God don't catch you." Then, very nice man. He served as Commissioner for Education. He served as Permanent Secretary of Education. He ran a television documentary in Kano, live, to teach so many of our engineers, architects, doctors. They drew inspiration from his television program imparting science and technology. I now respectfully invite the chairman of this conference, Alhaji Tajuddin Gambo, an educationist of fame, to invite the Honorable Commissioner for Higher Education, Dr. Kofar Mata, to give the closing remarks. Honorable Special Advisor, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman of the Organizing Committee. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. The Honorable Chairman of this occasion, and also double as the Honorable Commissioner for Education, Honorable Umar Haruna Dogwa, the Chairman of the Organizing Committee, Special Advisor Alhaji Tajuddin Gambo, Her Excellency, the First Lady of Oyo previously, Mrs. Abimbola Bukola, Bukola Ladoja. Okay, Hi Chief, in addition to what I have said. Okay, our guest from the FCDO, and also the organizers, plain professors, chairman of the communique, Professor Musa Tukur, and also the Vice Chancellor of Aliko Dangote University, permanent secretary is here, sitting together from the higher education and education directors, and all participants. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. I'm highly appreciated by the quality of the participants. Whenever you have a very good population in a particular environment, like here, we have well-known people from academia, from the civil service, from non-governmental organizations, from development partners. Then you are going to get qualitative presenters. Whenever you have a very good presenters, then surely they are going to hatch a very good policy on education. So there's no wonder for the quality of the presenters and the presentations. I hope this will yield a fruitful forward on education here in Kano State. But I summarize the problem related to education into 3. Number 1, inadequate infrastructure. Whatsoever, we have a shortage or dilapidated infrastructure, which I mark them as inadequate infrastructure. Number 2, we have poor quality of teachers, whether through lack of training, whether through lack of qualification, whether through whatsoever means, then we have this problem. And the last one, poor learning and teaching environment or inadequate learning and teaching facilities. I think by this 3, we have summarized all the problems related to education. And our ability to solve these problems will definitely move forward our education sector. So now, for example, now we increase the infrastructure. And also, we employ quality teachers. And also, we provide teaching and learning facilities. And remember, our population will also keep increasing. Keep increasing because we are producing in geometric progression. So how can we solve this problem in the near future? I think it will be very, very difficult for us. Let's say we increase the infrastructure in the next year by 30%, and then population increase by more than that percentage. So that means we will keep trying, and the problem will keep emanating. And for me, as an economist, development simply means transformation of formal sector, informal sector into formal, or tradition to modern. So I'm looking for the possibility, based on this conference, to see how we are going to utilize our mosques here in Kano to also become a formal learning centers. Because now the population of our mosques is reading in million, and most of these mosques from 7 a.m. to 1 a.m. are there idle, no any activities taking place there. And also we have hundreds of thousands of makarantun allo. And also we have problems of out of school children. Then how can you solve this problem? For me, I'm advising the Ministry of Education to see the possibility of providing at least English and mathematics teachers, or arithmetic as you call it, maybe to add another subject. Maybe you can call it social sciences or integrated sciences. So whenever they finish Karatun Allo in the morning, let's say from 8 to 10 or 11, then they can move to the mosques. And then from there, they can teach English, mathematics, and maybe social sciences. We can do this by registering all our makarantun allo to become a formal settings. Maybe we can grade them. We can also grade the mosques. Maybe you can consider this one as a primary school, Islamia primary school, and another one is Islamia primary and junior secondary school. So we can come up, or we can provide a very special curriculum so that we can attend to them 2 hours within the span of 3 years or 6 years. By doing so, I'm very much sure we are going to mitigate this problem of out-of-school children. So please let us consider transformation of our traditional schools into a formal school, please. And we can easily register them, accommodate them through our system, either through their organizations, through the local government, or through the Admiral Council. So by this, I'm congratulating the ministry for organizing this a wonderful and maiden conference, and I wish you all return safely to your home. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, our Honorable Commissioner for Higher Education, for the closing remarks. Distinguished participants, at this stage, I'd like to pass a message to each and every one of us from the Honorable Commissioner for Education and his counterpart in the Higher Education Ministry, who has just spoken to us. They extend, on behalf of His Excellency, the Governor of Kano State, the good people of Kano State, and all participants, our gratitude to the Vice Chancellor of this great citadel of learning, Professor Sagir Abbas, and members of the university community, particularly the management, for granting us this facility to hold this conference free of charge. We remain most grateful and appreciative to the university. We pray that Allah will continue to allow Bayero University to grow from strength to strength as a citadel of learning. Now, sir, may I humbly invite a respected, colorful politician from Kano, who has been in the house, God knows how many, a respected leader of the community, Alhaji Habibu El Yakub, who will stay there, sir. You will pray for us as we close and hand over to my dad, your neighbor. The two of you will give us closing prayer. Our dad, who spoke a short while ago, a respected educationist from days immemorial, Alhaji Habibu El Yakub, then our father.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. The Honorable Commissioner, Chairman of the occasion, other respected colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, I don't have anything to say except to pray like I was asked to do. Salat and Abu Goma. May I also ask to recite Izaja Kafadia. Ya Allah, make all our deliberations, resolution, all the issues being raised, being implemented within the short period of time, so that our good people of Kano State, Nigeria, and all others to benefit. May Allah continue to guide, protect His Excellency, our Governor, Engineer Abba Kabir Yusuf, to steer the leadership of Kano, so that Kano will regain its lost glory. May Allah continue to guide all our brothers and sisters who are interested in the education and the progress of Kano State. May Allah continue to give us health, wealth, so that we'll leave a very beautiful legacy to our generation yet unborn. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار يا عزيز يا غفار يا رب العالمين الحمد لله رب العالمين.
Assalamu alaikum. Ni zan kira ita ce duk abin da muka tantauna muka zartar muka har Allah ya masa albarka, Allah ya mana jagora. ‘Ya'yanmu ne da jikokinmu da shauransu da za su biyo baya su ma Allah ya masa albarka. Mu karanta fatiha da alamina shara. Bismillah. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون والسلام على المرسلين ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع الدعاء.
Please, presenters that have not signed their paper with me should please come here. All those that are presented in the breakout rooms, presenters in the syndicate groups, please, if